challenging team when, despite those sorts of omissions of the international players, so to speak, that the players who come in can do a job and they can still find a winning mentality?
Yeah, definitely, and you often find that the teams who place highly in the table when it comes to the end of the season are the ones who have the larger squads, the squads that can afford to have, maybe 5, 6, even 7 injuries, but they have enough depth in their squad that they can bring players through. Some who even don't often get a lot of first team rugby, they maybe come through. You've got players starting from the academy, some who are often sitting on the bench, and they rise to the occasion. They realise that this is their chance to prove that they can be regular starters in the starting 15, and a lot of times they'll do better.
Yeah, you touched upon the academy members who have risen to the challenge, so to speak, this season. I mean, how crucial are they going to be to this success, and how encouraging is it for Leicester Tiger fans to see that the academy members are coming through the ranks?
Yeah, well, Leicester Tigers, of course, a long history of homegrown players. A lot of them in the existing squad now will have come through there, and importantly, it gives competition to some of the players who've been there for quite a few years now. Maybe think that they've cemented their position, but if they've got more competition for their place, then that can only encourage the rest of the team to improve as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were obviously at that Northampton game last Saturday. What were your thoughts on that? I mean, it was a great game, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very closely fought game, and I think overall that 19-all draw, a fair result, quite telling of the game overall. For a lot of it, Northampton were dominant, and again, as I was referring to with last night's game against Ulster, times when Leicester looks very vulnerable in defence, Northampton very aggressive, and with the signings they've made, their attacking line looks absolutely ferocious. But doing well in the latter parts of the second half, just repeatedly bang on the door until eventually they got that very late try in the dying minutes. But they'll definitely want to improve. I mean, looking at their position in the league table, third, you would say that's a very respectable position. Of course, it's hard to really say after only 5 games being so early in the season, but they would expect better, of course. They're the reigning champions. They have very high standards of themselves, and their coaches have gone on record as saying that they need to do better if they're going to compete with the sides such as Harlequins, Saracens, Northampton, the other title contenders who are looking stronger than they did last season. If they're going to compete and be able to defend their title, they need to step up their game.
Yeah, I mean, they're clearly going to be the team to beat this year, having won the title last year. I mean, will that work in their favour or against them?
I think perhaps against them. If now that other clubs have started to, of course, they'll be analysing them closely. They'll be preparing differently, especially when they come into Welford Road, which for many years was considered a fortress of sorts, and other teams will be trying to step up their game. They know what Leicester are capable of. They know what power they have in the forwards, what dynamism they have in the back line when it's fully fit. So,
but surely it's got to drive. I mean, a title-winning side like Leicester Tigers, surely that would drive them on to be better. They're going to be more motivated, and they're not going to care that teams are out to get them. They're going to relish that challenge, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. But there comes a point when there's pressure on like that. Often the pressure can be difficult to take. And let's not just say that there aren't players who haven't shone this season. Toby Flood, who's now regularly getting picked as team captain, I think he's stepped up his game, leading by example, looking for making a lot more runs in play rather than being the playmaker, the offloader from the breakdown. That will help a lot. And this year he's got more competition than ever. Maybe something he didn't have last season. He was a fairly regular mainstay at the fly half spot, but Leicester have since brought in 2 more. Ryan Lamb, a lot of experience at Premiership level, and Owen Williams. So it wouldn't be definite that he would always get that number 10 spot, but he has shown that he is able to lead that team, and